With 2 weeks until the Israeli election, one topic seems to be on top of the agenda. Over the last few weeks, Israeli forces have stepped up Operation Break the Wave in the West Bank as a result of the deaths of several Israeli soldiers in Jerusalem and Nablus. Since the operation was launched in response to the spate of attacks in Israel in the spring of this year, over 1,500 Palestinians have been arrested and over 100 have been killed. However, the country remains on high alert as fighting has spiked around the Jenin refugee camp in the northern West Bank. So where do we go from here? Are there winners and losers in Operation Break the Wave, or just losers? With one eye on elections, will Israel's tactics change after November the 1st, regardless of who is in the hot seat? How successful is Operation Break the Wave?
So let's get to it. How successful is Operation Break the Wave? As always, we begin with our quick fire round of 30 seconds each, and then we pick up the conversation. Let's begin with the man on the go, straight from London, Yehuda Glick. Your take?
Shalom, Eli. Shalom, Yariv, and shalom, Smer. It's great to talk to you. It seems like the past 50 years, things have stayed the same, just that the Palestinians, on the one hand, are insisting not to try to solve anything and to continue with peace, while the Israelis are continuing to develop life. The Israeli IDF will continue protecting us, and whatever name the specific operation will have.
Yeah, changing names, but the modus operandi on both sides remains quite the same. Sinijlawi, your take?
Well, it's a big trailer. It's a show. It doesn't have anything to do with the providing real security to the Israeli population. Unfortunately, this operation is using 55% of the Israeli army to protect the state of the settlers, the state of Yehuda Glick, not the state of Israel, the other Israelis. And it's like treating cancer with painkillers, with Acamol.
Interesting comparison there. Last but not least, Yariv Oppenheimer.
These days are very tragic for many families, mostly Palestinians. We are talking about more than 100 people that got killed over the last year. 30 of them are minors. Almost every day we are hearing about people that are losing their life, also Israelis. And this is all useless because we can do things differently. We can start negotiation, we can control the settler violence, and we can create a much more secure place for Israelis and Palestinians in the West Bank. This operation is lead to nothing but misery.
So before we talk about ways out of this deadlock, so to speak, let's talk about what is already quite different on the ground. Not Fatah, not Hamas, not even Islamic Jihad. We're talking about a new group, the Lion's Den, originated in Nablus. Is it indeed a group or an organization, or are we talking an idea or a phenomenon? Sama. Mr. Sinijlawi.
Well, the Lion's Den is a myth. I don't think that they really address any threat to the Israeli security. I think they are maybe a group that consists a threat more to the PA, and whatever the Israelis are doing in favor of whom they are trying to pave the way to take the lead after Abbas. And again, this is a show. This is more an election campaign that is taken by some influential people. And again, I can say that you don't realize that 55% of your army is in the West Bank. And this 55% of your army is not under the authority of Kochavi, the chief of staff. They are under the authority of Shlomo Naim, the head of the settlements council. They decide what your army to do, where to go, and how to defend what they are doing. They are doing a lot of vandalism in the West Bank. The level of terror attack from the settler against Palestinians is increasing every day, and nobody is talking about it. It hardly comes to the Israeli news. What the Israeli news cares about is that just giving some impression to the Israeli public that they are doing an amazing job in keeping the security of the Israelis. And look from where the last attack came. The last attack came not from the West Bank, it came from within Jerusalem, from Shafat refugee camp. Until now, the security, Israeli security is not able to catch the suspect on this. So how can they justify that such a huge operation is putting all Palestinians, millions of Palestinians, as collectively as the enemy, undermining their respect to their human rights, putting some huge areas like Nablus and Jenin under siege for days and for weeks, preventing people to practice their normal lives, collectively punishing them against a myth, against there is no proof that this operation is going to serve the security of the Israelis. There is only one way to serve the real security of the Israelis, is doing political compromises and defining what should be done with the Palestinians. And there are two options, either withdrawing and creating a Palestinian state, or giving all the Palestinians equal rights. That's it, one state or two states. But the Israelis, they don't want to do neither. Yehuda Glick has another theory. He thinks that he can keep controlling with supremacy millions of Palestinians. He would like to continue serving this current two-floor states, where he stays at the noble floor and we stay at the servant's floor. And this cannot continue.
Well,
it's either one state or two states.
Yehuda Glick, is this what you want?
Thank you, Smer, for telling me what I think. But you and Yariv both know that in the past 70 years since the establishment of the State of Israel, the terror has come from one side, and that is the Palestinian side against the Jews. And you also know that the side that has always resisted all the peace opportunities has been the Palestinians. The Israelis continue to protect the State of Israel, including Judea and Samaria, which are not a separate part of the State of Israel. They're part of the State of Israel. And the Palestinians know that all they have to do is put down their arms, and Israel will be happy to live with them peacefully. But they choose a different way. They choose it with a way of terror, a way of hate. And if Smer is right, that the Lion's Den is an enemy of the PA, why isn't the PA using its strength to prevent their activities? So apparently, the PA is interested. The PA is interested in the Lion's Den activity, and every single day they're going to get a new name.
Yehuda, I'm sorry to say it, but you are not telling the truth. First of all, the West Bank is not part of the State of Israel, was never annexed to Israel. Second, Israelis are doing terror as well against Palestinians. First of all, the occupation itself, the fact that we are the one to make the decision for the Palestinians, where they're allowed to build, where they are allowed to go, where we are allowed to build. The fact that you can come and live from Tel Aviv or from Jerusalem to live in the West Bank, but people, Palestinians from the West Bank, they cannot do the other the other way around and to come and to live inside Israel. This is occupation, a brutal one, and we are paying the price for that. We are paying the price with the blood of our soldiers that are being killed, not to protect the State of Israel, but to protect the settlers and to protect the occupation. This is something that we should stop immediately. And about terror, be honest with yourself. You know that too many Israelis are dealing with terror against Palestinians. You can see it every day. You see Israeli settlers, Israeli youth going to Palestinian villages and doing things that, as a Jew, I'm ashamed of them. What they are doing for this Palestinian, and no one protects their rights to live a normal life and secure life in the West Bank.
Yehuda Glick.
It's not simple. It's not very simple to to fight both sides here at the same time. Yariv and Smer, you both know that the Israeli army has decided to protect the settlements because they understand that this is a protection of the State of Israel. And therefore, what they're doing is, what are the settlements doing? The settlements are building houses, building schools, building kindergartens. What are the situation today in Judea and Samaria is a result of the Oslo agreement that you are such a big supportive of, Yariv and Smer. But we know that this only led to more bloodshed and more hatred. And therefore, the only solution today is to introduce sovereignty over the entire Judea and Samaria as part of the state of Israel. And any Palestinian that wants to leave the path of terror and wants to live peacefully with us will be entitled to rights. But right now, the Palestinian official authority, which is a corrupt leadership, is not allowing that to happen. And but the simple Palestinian in the street would love to become part of the state of Israel. But the leadership doesn't want that. The leadership is the biggest enemy of the Palestinian civilians.
You are not honest, because you know that once Israel will annex the West Bank and will give the Palestinians the right to vote, this will be the end of the Jewish state. And you know it. And this is the reason why Israel will never give 3.5 million Palestinians the right to vote for the Israeli parliament. We are not even giving to the Palestinians living in East Jerusalem the right to vote for the parliament, because we know it will change the election. So this is maybe nice to tell it, but you know honestly that it will never happen. The only thing that the settlers are doing is to destroy the chance for peace and to destroy the chance for two states.
And they don't take they can vote for the municipality, and they don't take advantage of their opportunity to vote. But not only in Israel, the elections, the Palestinian Authority haven't taken place for already almost over 15 years. So who are you trying to fool? You know that the Palestinian Authority knows that the Palestinian civilians are against it, and they're not allowing them to vote.
Yeah, Smer, I'm not sure that you disagree with Yehuda here.
I want now to agree on something with Yehuda Glick. Yes, the PA leadership is not representative of the Palestinian people. Yes, they have self-employed themselves. Abbas has employed himself for 17 years as the leader, and he has the protection of Israel. The only thing that is keeping Abbas in power is the support of the Shin Bet, unfortunately, because they believe that he is the pillar of stability, of security stability. Security stability meaning keeping the split between Gaza and the West Bank. They know that this is how the way they can keep controlling things. But I want to offer you something. Forget about the leadership. If I come today and I will tell you, peace for rights, give me equal rights to vote, and we will give out all our arms, and we will be citizens of Israel and recognize it as a Jewish state. Would you accept this offer?
Well, wait right there, Yehuda. The answer of Yehuda Glick right after the break. If we got to this agreement at the end of this block, who can imagine what will happen at the end of our discussion? Short break, and we're back with this fascinating debate. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the summit. Still with us, Yariv Oppenheimer, Sinijlawi, and Yehuda Glick. Thank you, gentlemen, for sticking with us. We're also staying on our topic, but with one eye on the elections, and as always, security and politics profoundly intertwined here in Israel and elsewhere. How does it all play out? Let's take a listen to Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid and pick up the conversation from there.
Despite all the obstacles, still today, a large majority of Israelis support the vision of the two-state solution. I am one of them. We have only one condition: that the future Palestinian state will be a peaceful one, that it will not become another terror base from which to threaten the well-being and the very existence of Israel, that we will have the ability to protect the security of all the citizens of Israel at all times. Put down your weapons and there will be peace. That is the minimum I owe my grandfather, my father, and my daughter. The Jewish people have learned the lessons of the past. Our security is guaranteed by our military might, our economic ingenuity, our democratic resilience. Israel seeks peace with all our neighbors, all our neighbors. We are not going anywhere. The Middle East is our home. We are here to stay forever.
So let's get to it. Will Israel's tactics change in the aftermath of the November 1st elections? Yariv Oppenheimer, your 30 seconds are on.
I think that this speech of Prime Minister Lapid was an important one. It was the first time for many years that the Prime Minister is talking about the two-state solution, meaning that Israel is giving away parts of the West Bank and, of course, Gaza and maybe part of East Jerusalem in order to have a Palestinian state next to it. If it's a promo for the future, there is a chance, but in order that to happen, Lapid need to win. Until now, I think we saw security-wise the same policy, but political horizon, it's a very refreshing statement by Lapid, and I'm hopeful that he will win.
Sinijlawi, will the administration here in Israel change anything?
Well, it depends who will be elected. You can imagine Netanyahu wins this election. Who will be running the country? The country will be run by the three most extreme people in Israel, and the selfish baby will be run by Rabbi Yitzhak Goldenkopf, and by Ben Gvir and Smotrich, and by Yair Netanyahu, the son, not the father. Because he was the one that suggested for his father to put the metal detector in Al-Aqsa Mosque. So you can imagine when Ben Gvir will be managing the chief of staff, or Smotrich, he takes the defense ministry, and Ben Gvir will be running the internal security office, and he will be bossing the commander for police. So you can imagine what will happen to the Palestinians.
We'll put us up right here and get back to that in a second. Yehuda Glick, your thoughts?
Look, what Yair Lapid said in the United Nations, using the word two states is very interesting. He paid his speech or his tongue bribery to the world. But we all know, and if you listen to the rest of what Yair Lapid said, and with the rest, I think everybody in Israel agrees. When the Palestinians will put down their arms and their ammunition, there will be peace here. And this is something that maybe Yariv Oppenheimer doesn't like hearing. But the concept, and this, I don't think there's been too much of a dispute about this question. In Israel, everybody understands that terror comes for the Palestinians, and it's in their hands to decide to put down their ammunition.
Well, let's start our debate from this point exactly. Yariv Oppenheimer, is it really up to the Israeli side of the divide, or solely up to the Israeli side of the divide?
Israel is the occupied force. It's not a balanced conflict, and it's up to Israel that to make the decision what he wants to achieve in the future. And if we would like to have a binational state with occupation with inside, with people that has rights and people that doesn't have the same rights, so we need to go with Yehuda Glick. But if we want to keep Israel as a Jewish and democratic state, the only way to do it is to have the Palestinian state next to Israel. And I'm sorry, but I disagree. I think that it doesn't matter if the Palestinians will stop terror or will resume terror when the Palestinians are quiet. So most of the Israelis are saying there is no problem. We can continue to build in the settlements even in the most quiet years. We did it, and we didn't promote the two-state solution. The question is about Israel. What Israel really wants to be, a democratic state or a bigger a state with Judea and Samaria, but not a democratic one and not a Jewish one. This is the major dilemma. And I'm asking you, the Glick, if the Palestinians tomorrow are going to take down their weapons and to say, okay, we are ready for peace, are you ready to give up the settlements and to go back and to live with inside Israel? Because with your settlements, the settlements that you live in, there is not going to be a Palestinian state. So the dilemma is about the Israeli future and the Israeli decision to go for these two states. And when Lapid is talking about it, I'm taking it very seriously.
Yehuda Glick?
Yes, what I hear from you, Yariv, and again, you're repeating these sentences because the thing is very simple. Those who have been against peace throughout all the history of the state of Israel, and including the past 2 decades, Ehud Barak offered the PA a very, very generous offer. Ehud Olmert offered them a very generous offer. They turned it down. So don't talk about the two-state solution as if it's something that the Israelis want and the Palestinians don't. That the Israelis don't want, the Palestinians want. The Palestinian Authority is the one who does not want, and any Arab, any Palestinian who wants to try to discuss peaceful relationships with Israelis is always in the risk and the spread of his life from the Palestinian Authority.
In Israel, a prime minister was shot dead because of the Oslo agreement. You're talking about the Palestinian Society? Yitzhak Rabin was the prime minister of the state of Israel, not the prime minister of the Palestinians.
Yariv, that's not true. And I'm not going to get into that right now.
That Rabin was murdered because of Oslo?
The prime minister of the state of Israel was shot because a very terrible person, thought that he was the one to be blamed for the terror that was pouring in the streets and thousands of people.
And many people
killed.
supported him.
But no, I'm not going to go to that debate. I want to go back to what we said before. In Jerusalem, on the Temple Mount, and in the settlements, many Israelis try and build dialogue with Palestinians. And the biggest enemy for those are the Palestinian leadership. And the Palestinian leadership in East Jerusalem and the Palestinian leadership in Judea and Samaria are always the obstacles in any kind of peaceful dialogue between Israelis and Palestinians. And therefore, the Palestinian Authority does not really want a Palestinian state, because that's why they turned it down every single time they were offered it. They want to use it as an argument and blame Israel, and that's what they want to do. And I say to them, stop blaming and blaming and blaming and blaming. Pick up do something constructive. The international world has given you so much support. Whether it was in Gaza, how much billions of dollars has the international world poured down on Gaza? And look what the authorities there did.
Smer Sinijlawi, Yehuda Glick has a point here. Who will govern this potential Palestinian state, if and when?
Well, I want to admit something. Our project, me and Yariv, the two-state solution, was defeated. Your project, Yehuda Glick, won. The settlement project won. We need to accept and admit this. You won. Congratulations. And now you have walked your nightmare.
I want to win, and I want the Palestinians to benefit from it. I want the Palestinians to benefit from it.
The young generation now, my generation, will not talk about the two-state solution. This train has left the station long ago. You have maybe one generation after Abbas, which is the generation of Marwan Barghouti, Jibril Al-Joub, Muhammad Dahlan. Maybe these guys will talk to you about two-state solution. My generation will not talk about it. We will talk about one state, equal rights. And you have mentioned the municipality elections. I want to give you a news. It's coming. If we will not vote this election, the next election, we will come in tens of thousands, and we will go inside the municipality council, and we will exercise our rights from there.
With great sorrow, we'll have to put a stop right here. Smer Sinijlawi, Yariv, Oppenheimer, Yehuda Glick, thank you so very much. See you soon.